Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a briefing from www.central-mosque.com about Kashmir, what's happening and why it's happening. In August 2019, I'm traveling, so I don't have access to my laptop, so the mic might be a little echoey, but inshallah I'll try to do my best. So basically, first warning about this analysis. As far as I'm concerned, some of you may be disappointed because it's not going to have any rhetoric. My presentations, usually I try to convey facts. I try to give you information for people to make up their own minds. So it may not have a lot of Islamic background, Ummah related stuff, etc. Because what I'm going to discuss here is ground reality about what is happening in Kashmir. And that's what I'm going to focus on. So first of all, what you need to understand about Kashmir, it is one of the most militarized regions in the world. So the Indian media is full of lies. Just about everything you read in the Indian media is pure lies. However, even according to Indian sources, so I've collected together the military or paramilitary forces that are actually deployed in Kashmir. So India continues to lie about it. Nevertheless, even according to Indian figures, there are 3 battalions of Indian Army inside Jammu and Kashmir. So there are 2 regions, Jammu and Kashmir. And I'll talk about this in a little bit later. So 3 battalions of Indian Army, so 150,000 proper soldiers. Then you have Rashtriya Rifles, which is basically there to fight counter-terrorism and stuff like that, 60,000. Then you have a militarized police. This is basically military wing of Indian Police, Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, 60,000 personnel. Then you have Border Security Force, which are 45,000. So Border Security Force in India is basically the ones who guard the borders of India, and they're everywhere. So in Kashmir specifically, 45,000 of them. Then you have Indo-Tibet Border Force. Now they actually are along the line of between India and Kashmir, but they do get cross-deployed, and they're basically 35,000. Then Jammu and Kashmir actually have 2 different police forces, the Jammu and Kashmir Police Force and Jammu and Kashmir Armed Police Force, 150,000 personnel. Those numbers are available in the Indian media openly, and that amounts to about 440,000 personnel in this Jammu and Kashmir Valley for India to say keep peace. In July and August, there are about 30,000 additional deployments, but let's just put that aside. These are official numbers, which I'm telling you are absolute lies. Even if you take these numbers of 440,000, let me just put that in perspective for you. When Iraq and Afghanistan, US Army did operations, coined counterinsurgency, they said in order to maintain peace and stuff, they need about 20 soldiers per 1,000 civilians. These numbers right here account to 36 soldiers per 1,000 civilians in Indian Kashmir. So almost double of what US Army had in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, but however the figures, so these are roughly, almost approaching 500,000. So basically 2 numbers you need to keep an eye out. So these are figures that are easily available in the Indian media. So I'm not going to give you conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So almost 500,000. To compare that, basically the British Army, the entire standing British Army is roughly 150,000 only. That's it. So what is deployed in Jammu and Kashmir by India is 3 times the strength of the entire British Army. And what is deployed in India by the Indian Army is twice what the US Army had in Iraq and Afghanistan. Almost twice that. So this is why Kashmir is one of the most militarized zones in the world. So now, here's a little bit of a history of Kashmir. So basically, Kashmir, when we talk about Kashmir is actually 4 separate areas. So one is this little piece called Azad Kashmir, which is part of Pakistan. Then you have the 2 states joined together in India, Jammu and Kashmir. So this is the Indian occupied Kashmir, as they call it. Then you have the northern area of Pakistan, which is Gilgit-Baltistan. Third, these are historically parts of Kashmir. The 4th area is what Pakistan acceded to China, Akshay Chin, and one little valley of China. So these are basically 4 areas of Kashmir: Pakistani Kashmir, Indian Kashmir, northern Pakistan, and China. So the border which is between India and Pakistan as far as Kashmir is concerned, this is called LOC, Line of Control. We're going to talk about that in a second. So basically, the border between India and China, it is called LOAC, Line of Actual Control. So in terms of military, what happens is there's skirmishes across India and Pakistan and Kashmir all the time. So across line of control, India fires, Pakistan fires back, whatever. So when that happens, it is called the line of control has gone hot. So that's what they call it when there's skirmishes and so on and so forth. Now, India and Pakistan are both sick of Kashmir and have been for a while. Indian businessmen and stuff, it basically portrays India in the negative light and so on. So in the times of Parvez Musharraf in the early 2000s, late 1990s, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee BJP government, India, late 1990s, early 2000s, they almost reached a deal, and the deal which Pakistan and India have pretty much is convert this line of control between India and Pakistan right here into an international border. So you see this is the international border between India and Pakistan. So what they're going to do is they're going to accept. So what they're going to say is whichever territory whoever has, just make that international border. That's it. Get it done with, right? They don't really care about the Chinese side, Akshay Chin and stuff like that. And then separate negotiations between India and China. But the deal is to actually convert this. So whatever area Pakistan currently has, is Azad Kashmir becomes part of Pakistan. Northern areas become part of Pakistan. And this area becomes Jammu and Kashmir. Why? Why are Pakistan and India pretty much, and now Donald Trump, have pretty much agreed on this solution? The reason being, one, is Pakistan, CPEC, which is, if you look down here, down south in Pakistan is a new port. Pakistan's access to China flows through this northern area. All the trade, all the traffic through this northern area, all the way down to Pakistan through the port. So Pakistan wants peace. They no longer want this Kashmir stuff hanging about. Okay. India, their international reputation is damaged by Kashmir issues and stuff. They've got 500,000 army, spend a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. So they want this solved. Pakistan wants this issue solved. It has nothing to do with Kashmir. Nobody cares about Kashmir, the Kashmiri people. Rather, India does not care about Kashmiri people. Pakistan does not care about Kashmiri people. They just want this issue to go away. And the international community, Indians and Pakistanis, as far as, the deep state are concerned, all they want is they want this boundary here internationalized, everybody to recognize, look, here's the border, no more firing, no more it going hot, no more the line of control going hot. Nobody really cares about the Kashmiri people. India will kill, unfortunately, as I said, I've given you a warning. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help the brothers and sisters in Kashmir. But here's the reality of it. India will kill every single Muslim Kashmiri living inside Jammu and Kashmir. They don't care. They just want the land because all the waters and stuff originate from here. And India just wants this to be subdued. Pakistan just wants this subdued because they want to trade with China and they want prosperity in economics. Nobody cares about the people of Kashmir. It's a stark reality of the situation. So as far as Kashmir is concerned, there are two problems. Before India can go ahead and convert this line of control into an actual border, the Kashmir has two special statuses in the Indian constitution. Number one is Article 370, which is special status to the state of Kashmir. So India has many states, as you know. So the state of Jammu and Kashmir occupies special status in the Indian constitution. So they want to revoke that and treat that as any other state. Number one is actually Article 35A, which means the people, the residents of Kashmir have the right to own property, etc. So they have a special status. So India wants to revoke that entirely. So 370, before I did the research of this presentation, I was going to talk about it. That's just happened this morning. BBC is reporting. 35A is special status to the people of Kashmir. And India wants to do that. If that happens, first of all, how can that happen? According to the Indian constitution, the Indian Assembly needs 2/3 majority to ratify that, and over 50% of the Indian states need to approve that change. Both of that is, BJP has that, so they can do that anytime they want. Now, if that happens, basically Kashmir has a population of 12.5 million people. India has a population of 1.4 billion. So if the special status 370 and 35A are revoked, what that will mean is basically Indians will start moving to Kashmir, buying property and stuff, and that means only 12.5 million Kashmiri people against 1.4 billion Indians. that is a completely alarming situation. Palestine versus Israel is nothing. There is some parity in population. Here you got 12.5 million Kashmiris versus 1.4 billion Indians who move in there, buy properties, completely dilute the culture of the Kashmiri people, the living, the way of life, religion, Islam, of course, and everything will be. And this is what this BJP government is trying to do. But before they do that, everything is geared towards this, basically getting rid of this border right here. So this is exactly what happens in war. Before you go to the negotiation table, what you do is you try to grab as much area as you can. So then when ceasefire happens, you basically occupy the area that you're on. So India has sent in so many forces in Jammu and Kashmir. So when they say, okay, you know what, to Pakistan, or in Pakistan, let's negotiate, make this into international border. Pakistan agrees, and that's what's going to happen at some point. Now, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, the leaders that you see, there are two kinds of leaders. You know, those who sold out Kashmir originally in 1947, 48, who sided with India. The grandkids of those people and people affiliated with those Muslim leaders are still there, right? Still basically part of Indian National Congress and so on and so forth. And there are some leaders who are pro-Pakistan, Hurriyat Conference and stuff like that. All of these people are absolute and utter sellouts. They have nothing to do with Islam. The first thing that people need to understand, when I'm monitoring Muslim media, Muslim radio stations, Muslim TV stations, Muslim newspapers and stuff, they give a lot of importance to these people. You know, Asia Indarabi, pro-Pakistan, Hurriyat Conference, pro-Pakistan, and Umar Abdullah, pro-India. But all of these people are under house arrest today because India was going to revoke the Article 370, which they have now. All of them are basically either pro-India or pro-Pakistan. They are not really sympathetic to the people of Kashmir. The struggle in Kashmir has entirely been a pro-Pakistan tilt on it. And Pakistani army and Pakistani ISI, of course, wanted this to be kept boiling over to engage the Indian army. That is a fact, right? When India is revoking the special status of Kashmir and stuff, nothing's going to happen from Pakistan. Why? Because number one, Imran Khan is not Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. He's not going to go in there with the pain of the Ummah. Let's go resolve the issue of Kashmiri people and so on. Not going to happen, right? Pakistan honestly does not care. I know you may hurt by me saying that. That is a fact. The only reason Pakistan is going to go in there is because most of the rivers flow out of the Kashmir area, and if India further restricts the flow of water to Pakistan, which is an agricultural country, and there's severe water crisis and a resulting energy crisis in Pakistan, that is the only time Pakistan army is going to cross into the border of Kashmir and try to do something about it. Otherwise, it's an internal Indian matter, not going to happen. As far as the rest of India is concerned, the Muslims are subdued and basically neutered and neutralized in India to such an extent that nobody cares, right? An Indian Muslim in South India has almost no solidarity with a Kashmiri Muslim whatsoever, so they're not going to rise up. Nothing's going to happen. What you will hear is some words of resistance, perhaps from certain quarters of Indian Muslims, but they've got their own problems. They're neutralized to such an extent. You see lynching, rapings and stuff of Muslims in India all the time. Nobody really cares. So it is likely that India will go ahead and take away the special status of Kashmir, and then not much will happen. And the Kashmiris, unfortunately, will feel the brunt of it. This is going to get really, really, really bad. Okay. And I absolutely do not see Pakistan army or Pakistani government doing something legally within the internal affairs of India. And they have no reason to. All they want to do is they want to, along the LOC, line of control, Pakistan and India want to convert it into a border, so both can basically happily pursue trade and money. Nobody really cares, unfortunately, about the people of Kashmir. However, there is one dynamic that India did not see. The struggle in Kashmir for the last 50, 60 years has always been alongside with Pakistan or a referendum on what they want to do, maybe become an independent state along the border or something. What's happened in the last 10 to 15 years is the the separatist movement or the freedom struggle has become a full-on jihad in Kashmir. So what you see now happening in Kashmir is a jihad in terms of Islamic sense and in terms of Ummah and so on and so forth. And that's a really, really alarming situation for India, because India has over 20 separatist movements. And if Kashmir falls, then the rest of India is going to disintegrate in no time whatsoever. So India has gone in there with full force, with full might, wants to crush this entirely. Now this is a warning bell, because if you notice Burhan Wani and the latest people who've become shaheed, who've been martyred in Kashmir, none of them were in fact making any slogans of Pakistan. In fact, they even said that for years and decades we were fighting for the slogan of land and Pakistan. Now we're fighting for La ilaha illallah. This is what has changed in Kashmir, and this is what's prompted Indian reaction. So because India understands that if this becomes an internationalized jihad, okay, then Kashmir will kind of turn into another Afghanistan or Syria or Iraq or something like that, and that's what India does not want to do. So inshallah, I'll follow up with another video with more discussions on this detail. Assalamu alaikum.